Leinster campaign as defending champions. Well, that always makes you the team to beat, so I'm sure it was with a certain trepidation that the Dubs headed for Drogheda today and a quarter-final meeting with Louth. Reporting on that game now for us is Marty Morrissey.
Over 20,000 people travelled to Drogheda to see the home side take on Dublin in the quarter-final of this year's Leinster Championship. Dublin had to make one pre-match alteration to the side when Paul Curran was deemed unfit to play, having picked up an injury in training. Charlie Redmond was drafted into the team at centre forward, while Louth manager Frank Lynch gave the number 3 jersey to Martin Morgan in place of the injured Kevin O'Hanlon. 52 seconds gone in the match and Kieran Duff puts Dublin in front with this free. But Louth, with strong wind advantage, responded immediately when a free quickly taken by Jerry Curran broke inside to Colin Kelly and he slotted it over the bar. The Drogheda crowd were even more impressed less than a minute later when Stephen White's long ball broke to Michael Malone and Louth were in front. Despite Dublin's lack of free-taking success, the Metropolitans equalised, but not before an anxious Dublin manager, Jerry McCall, was up off his seat, issuing orders to his forwards. And with just a minute to go to half-time, the opening finally came for Dublin. Martin Morgan cleared the ball to midfield, where Eamon Heary cleverly headed it down to Declan Bolger, and his high lob was caught superbly by Mick Galvin. He was always a thorn in the Louth defence, giving it in superbly to Joe McNally and coolly slotting it under Jerry Farrell's body. A superb goal, Mick Galvin creating it, Joe McNally using all his experience and cleverly sending it home. Score at half-time, Dublin won 5, Louth 4 points. Dublin started the second half as they finished the first, although Vinnie Murphy found it hard to keep his feet, going for a close-up view of the ball. But Charlie Redmond got the break, and from his long pass, Mick Galvin gathered possession and scored one of the best points of the match. But Louth were here to win and fought back gallantly. Brendan Kearns, who had a fine match at wing-back, sought and found Seamus O'Hanlon, who had been moved into full forward. And despite Jerry Hargan's efforts, got his cross in, and waiting underneath it were Cathal O'Hanlon and Newtown bluesman Colin Kelly, who gathered, turned and shot superbly past John O'Leary. A fine cross. Just watch who was underneath it. Colin Kelly getting past the Dublin defence and giving John O'Leary no chance whatsoever. But despite the goal, Louth were always finding it a little difficult to get past an uncompromising Dublin defence and many times gave away silly frees. Stephen White guilty of charging here, Tommy Carr taking a quick free, and Niall Clancy from the Stillorgan-based club Kilmacud Crokes pointing superbly on the run. Charlie Redmond showed his ambition to win a place in Dublin's first 15 when he gathered the break at midfield, and despite the best efforts of the Louth men, slotted it over the bar. Dublin weaved a good passing movement together in the 13th minute of the second half when Mick Deegan sent a ball into Joe McNally, and watch for a brilliant pass here from Mick Galvin straight to the in-rushing Kieran Duff, and only a magnificent save by Jerry Farrell, depriving Dublin of a certain goal. A great save and easily one of the highlights of the match. A superb pass straight into Kieran Duff, and look at that for bravery. And Peter Fitzpatrick giving his goalkeeper a lending hand. Louth were by no means overawed by Dublin and showed tremendous potential occasionally with sweeping movements up the field. Seamus O'Hanlon combined well with substitute John Fox so as to allow Cathal O'Hanlon to take on Keith Barr. His great surge forward, however, was quickly brought under control. Colin Kelly taking the free and making it 110 to 1-7 in favour of Dublin. 3 points between the sides. Dublin always had the ability to respond quickly if Louth came anywhere close. And after Kieran Duff eventually gained possession and all efforts to take a quick free were halted, Duff increased Dublin's lead to 4 points. With 8 minutes left, Vinnie Murphy got entangled in an off-the-ball incident with Peter Fitzpatrick, and Julie was sent in for an early shower by the referee Pat Kavanagh. But despite numerical inequality, Dublin added on points by Kieran Duff and Mick Galvin to make the final score 113 to 1-8. So what did Dublin manager Jerry McCall think of the match?
We didn't play as well as we should have during the second half. With the breeze, we should have been able to pile on a few scores, and we didn't put the game away when we could have. I thought the first half we played reasonably well. Backs worked very well, and we worked the short ball well up the field. But second half, the long ball didn't work out so well for us.
Next match is now against Wicklow. What's your views on that one?
Well, it's the semi-final Leinster Championship, and I take every game as it comes, and we'll have to be on our top of our game to beat Wicklow in Newbridge.
Yes, watching that with a very keen interest was Sean Boylan. Perhaps Sean, although as was said there, it's Wicklow next for Dublin, but perhaps the view towards later on in the summer maybe.
Well, with a view to later on in the summer, we've to get over Longford next Sunday before we see how we go from there. But you always felt that in looking at it that Dublin could always step up a gear if they wanted to, and to lose Paul Curran before the match is a very big loss for them, and yet to have somebody of the ability of Charlie Redmond fitting well and able to come back in again, it shows the amount of talent that is there and depth of talent. I suppose one of the features that you could see there today was how well Mick Galvin played. And Mick has been out injured for a long time and is probably one of the best distributors of the ball in the game. And when you can afford to have Noel McCaffrey and Barney Rock and a few more fellas like that on the sideline, there's an immense amount of talent there. But Louth are never easy to play against. They're always a great and hard competitive team, and they made it hard for Dublin. And but Dublin came out on top. They're a very hard team to beat.
Well, Sean, the match that you were concentrating on for the Sunday game today was Armagh and Tyrone in Ulster. And Tyrone, the champions, went to the Athletic Grounds today knowing that they would have a